Oh.
Hey, it's all right. I'll eat out.
Fonz, Dad hasn't gotten home from work yet. Yeah, but he'll be home any minute. I mean, it's probably nothing.
Happy Days became pure TV comfort food, capturing an idealized vision of 1950s Americana through the wild 70s and early 80s. But behind the jukebox hits and leather jackets, the set was full of odd twists and trivia. Here are 10 of the strangest Happy Days facts, counting all the way down to number 1. Number 1. The finale was lost, then rediscovered. Let's go back to Milwaukee in the mid-80s. For those who watched Happy Days religiously, you probably remember Richie's good-hearted smile and Fonzie's unflappable cool. But for more than a decade, the original Passages finale from 1984 was almost like a ghost episode. Thanks to a jumble in syndication deals and some TV buyer mix-ups, the emotional series capstone rarely made it to reruns, leaving longtime fans with an unfinished scrapbook. Collectors scavenged VHS tapes, trading grainy copies on forums and at conventions. The drought finally broke in 1995 when TV Land, that haven for classic TV, aired the genuine finale, letting the cast's heartfelt goodbyes reach everyone at last. The final scene, with the entire family gathered around the Cunningham table, gave viewers the closure they'd yearned for, proving that sometimes even the happiest endings can go missing. But rediscovering that lost goodbye made it all the sweeter, setting the tone for the next round of Happy Days lore. Number 2. Happy Days was almost canceled after Season 2. Bright lights, retro booths, and the gleam of Fonzie's leather jacket. Hard to believe now, but Happy Days almost vanished before it got cooking. In its first 2 seasons, starting in 1974, ABC's nostalgic sitcom stumbled in the ratings. Audiences at home liked the idea, but something was missing. By the second year, the threat of cancellation hung heavy over Arnold's Diner. Then came a gutsy switch. Season 3 introduced a live studio audience. The energy shifted instantly. That wall of canned laughter, replaced with real gasps and belly laughs, made every punchline pop. The scripts got sharper, and suddenly Richie, Fonzie, and the gang felt just like old friends hanging out in your living room. This bold pivot didn't just save the show, it turned Happy Days into a pop culture titan for 10 seasons. ABC's faith paid off, letting America's favorite jukebox stay on play for years. One creative gamble, and the tone changed from flat to electric, leaving fans eager for the next adventure in Milwaukee. Number 3. Ron Howard directed, cast members later on. Long after Richie Cunningham traded his varsity jacket for adult responsibilities, Ron Howard found his stride behind the camera. Once the earnest redhead everyone knew from ABC's Happy Days, Howard quickly swapped sitcom stardom for a life calling the shots. As his directing career blossomed in the 1980s and 1990s, he brought familiar faces along for the ride. Henry Winkler, forever known as the Fonz, teamed up with Howard in 1982 for the comedy film Night Shift. Even Marion Ross, who played Mrs. C with unrivaled warmth, was guided by Howard's vision in later television projects. Ron Howard's journey shines as a testament to Happy Days' real influence, a sitcom that launched not only catchphrases, but also an Oscar-winning filmmaker. When Howard took home the Best Director Academy Award in 2002 for A Beautiful Mind, it felt like a victory for Happy Days fans everywhere. It's a reminder that sometimes the quiet guy from Milwaukee can change Hollywood in a way no one saw coming. Number 4. The jump the shark moment was born here. The phrase that TV fans love to toss around, jump the shark, all started with a leather jacket, a pair of swim trunks, and a ridiculously brave Fonzie. In 1977, during Season 5 of Happy Days, writers cooked up an outrageous plot for Sweeps Week. Fonzie, played by Henry Winkler, would water ski over a real live shark. At the time, it was pure spectacle, designed to hook viewers and push the coolness factor sky high. But audiences and critics saw it as something else, the moment when a beloved show officially ran out of fresh ideas. That sunny California stunt didn't just entertain, it branded every future TV misstep. From that day forward, whenever a sitcom tried too hard, fans said it had jumped the shark. It is hard to believe a goofy, sun-drenched gimmick could rewrite pop culture slang. Yet every time you hear the phrase, you're really back on that Venice Beach set, watching Fonzie take flight. Number 5. Potsie almost became the main character. Potsie Weber, played by Anson Williams, was never supposed to be just the lovable sidekick. Early production notes from Happy Days reveal that ABC's producers eyed Potsie as their central character before the cameras even rolled back in 1974. Imagine that, your after-school reruns filled with Potsie's eager grin leading the charge, instead of Richie Cunningham's clean-cut charm. The pivot happened fast. After audience test screenings, and especially with Henry Winkler's Fonzie catching fire with viewers and critics alike, the creative direction changed. Richie, and soon after the Fonz, not Potsie, anchored the show. Still, Potsie kept his spot as the sweet, slightly square underdog, winning laughs with every off-key note. He never headlined an episode, but fans loved him all the more for it. Sometimes being the heart instead of the star is just what a cast and an era needs. Soon enough, the show's whole center of gravity would shift yet again, with everyone looking toward the leather-jacketed Fonz. Let's pause for a second. Did you always root for the underdog characters like Potsie? Or were you drawn to the big scene stealers like Fonzie? Drop your favorite Happy Days memory in the comments. Number 6. Tom Hanks guest starred and fought the Fonz. The leather jacket, the jukebox, the Fonz's swagger, but tucked into the 10th season of Happy Days is a cameo few saw coming, Tom. Hanks, long before he charmed the world, lights up the screen as a karate master named Dr. Cecile. Airing in 1982, this episode goes off the rails in the best way. Dr. Cecile storms into Arnold's, still sore about a playground grudge from 1964. With comic bravado, he challenges Fonzie to a rematch. Only this time, it's more karate chops than cool comebacks. Hanks, with his signature wide-eyed energy, gamely throws himself into the role, making the standoff as bizarre as it is unforgettable. For those who only know Hanks from mega hits like Forrest Gump, seeing him spar with the Fonz is pure television time warp. It's a reminder that every star has a quirky detour, and Happy Days lived for those oddball moments. As the laughter echoes, you can almost smell the hairspray and vinyl, wondering what other surprises the show still has up its retro sleeve. Number 7. The show spawned 3 spin-offs and a cartoon. Imagine Milwaukee's Arnold's Drive-In, but suddenly it's packed with sitcom legends from other shows. That was the genius of Happy Days creator Gary Marshall. From Laverne and Shirley's slapstick adventures that spun off in 1976 to the cosmic comedy of Mork and Mindy led by Robin Williams in 1978, Marshall was always expanding the Happy Days universe. Even Joni Loves Chachi had its moment, banking on young love and heartthrobs in 1982. And just when you thought you'd seen it all, out came the Fonz and the Happy Days gang cartoon, with animated time travel and a talking dog. These spin-offs weren't just extras. At their peak, Laverne and Shirley actually outranked Happy Days in the Nielsen ratings. Marshall's love for big TV worlds turned one Midwestern sitcom into a ratings powerhouse, forever changing how audiences saw crossovers and shared characters. Suddenly, TV felt much bigger, bursting with possibility. One familiar face could mean a whole new adventure was about to begin. Number 8. Chuck Cunningham vanished with no goodbye. You might remember the Cunningham family dining around that cozy kitchen table on Happy Days, but you'd be forgiven if you forgot eldest son Chuck even existed. In the first season in 1974, Chuck shuffled in and out, often with a basketball in hand or a sandwich in tow, played first by Gavin O'Herlihy and then briefly by Randolph Roberts. Then, just as quickly, he was gone. No big send-off, no dramatic farewell, just vanished, as if the Cunninghams had always been a family of 4. Behind the scenes, producers decided Chuck's character wasn't needed, as the focus of the show shifted to Richie and, of course, the irresistible Fonz. Chuck's disappearance became so legendary that TV fans coined the phrase Chuck Cunningham syndrome to describe main characters who disappear from a series with no explanation. Next time you're wondering about that missing cast member, just remember Chuck. You're not alone in scratching your head. As we move forward, let's explore more quirks that made Happy Days anything but ordinary. Number 9. The Cunningham's house magically changed colors. You could always spot the Cunningham house at the start of Happy Days, except, did you ever notice it changed colors? In the first season, the Milwaukee home was a crisp white, straight out of classic suburban dreams. Then, beginning with Season 2 in 1975, eagle-eyed viewers caught it suddenly sporting a blue exterior, all without a single nod or wink to the audience. This wasn't a fluke. The show's production switched to multicam studio sets and started using different exterior shots, including recycled footage from other projects. Loyal fans debating reruns scratched their heads. Could this really be the same house where Richie, Marion, and the Fonz shared their iconic moments? The answer reflects the TV magic of the era. Details you weren't supposed to question, just feel. It's one of those quietly bizarre shifts that Happy Days pulled off, seamlessly hitting reset while you were watching the jukebox. All this serves as a reminder that sometimes even your favorite slice of Americana gets a fresh coat of paint with zero explanation. Just another thing that kept viewers grinning through each new spin of the record. Number 10. Fonzie's leather jacket was once banned. Picture this, the unmistakable glint of leather, but only if Fonzie was working on his bike. In the earliest days of Happy Days, the now legendary leather jacket had to be kept under strict lock and key by network censors. ABC genuinely worried that a full-time leather-wearing Fonzie would spell trouble, symbolizing rebellion a little too vividly for their primetime image in 1974. If you watch those first episodes, Henry Winkler only dons his trademark jacket when the motorcycle is present, as if its magic powers depended on chrome and gasoline. Yet that restriction did not last. Producers pushed right back, explaining that Fonzie on a motorcycle was just being himself. And by season 2, the censors finally relented. The leather jacket became an icon, in school hallways and on Halloween, an instant emblem of cool. It's wild to think that such an essential slice of television almost never slipped past the studio gatekeepers, proof that sometimes pop culture's hottest trends are won by a stubborn streak. Ready for another strange twist behind the scenes?